Hello, welcome to the Veterans Voice. My name is Joe Armstrong. I'm the president of Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 1044, located in Sanford, Maine. Vietnam Veterans of America was founded in 1978 and is the only national Vietnam veterans organization congressionally chartered and dedicated to Vietnam-era veterans and their families. We are also dedicated to helping other veterans and their families from all wars. Our founding principle is never again will one generation of veterans abandon another. Before we continue our show, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about our organization and why it's important for you to join us. First, I want to say welcome home to my brothers and sister veterans. The goals of Vietnam Veterans of America are to promote and support the full range of issues important to Vietnam veterans, to create a new identity for this generation of veterans, and to change public perception of the Vietnam veteran. Vietnam Veterans of America is a home of our own, a community of fellowship with people who share our experiences, needs, and hopes for the future. You can be as active as your time, talents, or interests allow, or simply be a proud member of the VVA, knowing that your membership helps VVA work for you and your fellow Vietnam veterans. Membership includes a subscription to our award-winning newspaper, the VVA Veteran, bringing you updates on issues and legislation affecting veterans, as well as unique articles on the people, places, and the history of the Vietnam experience. I'm often asked, do I have to have served in Vietnam to become a member? The answer is no. We have two types of membership. The first is open to any armed forces veteran who served on active duty for other than training purposes in the Republic of Vietnam between February 28, 1961 and May 7, 1975. That's called in-country. Our second type of membership is open to any veteran that served in any duty location between August 5, 1964 and May 7, 1975. So if you served anywhere in the world between August 5, 1964 and May 7, 1975, you qualify for membership. Another question I'm asked is why? Why should I join Vietnam Veterans of America? I'm sure you're sitting there asking yourself why you should join. What's in it for you? Or you belong to enough things? Or you're done with anything military? Well, the following reasons are why you should join us. The only way to change things for veterans is through legislation. When one of the veterans organizations goes in front of Congress pleading the case for veterans, and Congress knows they only have 100,000 members nationally, they'll accept what they say and probably go on to the next issue. But if that same organization comes before Congress with 1 million members, now the congressman will listen. This also applies to state and local governments. So even if you don't want to go to meetings, don't want anything to do with the organization, but you want the VA to change and things to get better for all veterans, join VVA. So when we go before Congress, Congress will listen. As a bonus, you might find that you like being in a veterans organization helping fellow veterans. Our chapter is a very active chapter working hard to help our brothers and sisters, their families, and veterans of today. Some of the committees that we have are Agent Orange Dioxin and other toxic exposures, Constitution Committee, Education Committee, Government Affairs Committee. There are many, many more. We meet on the first Sunday of every month at the Sanford Elks Lodge 1470, located at 13 Elm Street in Sanford. Meetings start at 1:30. If you'd like more information about us, please email us at president@vva1044maine.org. Today I'd like to talk to you about a very solemn and meaningful ceremony that our chapter performs at no cost to honor the memory of our fallen brothers and sisters, that have paid the ultimate sacrifice. We call it the Fallen Warrior Ceremony. At one time or another, you may have seen on display what is known as a battlefield cross, or the Fallen Warrior Cross. This monument consists of a rifle, a helmet, dog tags, and boots. Today, I'd like to describe the meaning of each item on display and the history behind it. Throughout the history of the world, there's been a military tradition of erecting a makeshift battlefield memorial for each fallen warrior. Wherever possible, the comrades of that fallen warrior would drive his sword or blades and rifle vertically into the ground, and upon the hilt they would place his helmet. Against the sword of a martyr, they would place the warrior's shield, which identifies the warrior or his family's name or origin. And in front of his display, they would place the empty sandals or boots. There's no accurate account on how this tradition began, but has been revised up to this day from one form or another, and is presently a revered honor and tradition of the United States military. However, during the past 100 years, until recent times, this tradition has itself become a casualty of the industrial efficiency. And during the 20-year conflict in Vietnam, the custom was all about forgotten. Our fallen comrades were unceremoniously processed and shipped home before we ever had a chance to mourn or honor their passing. Their weapons and gear would be re-inventoried, and their personal belongings were packed up and shipped out. Little time was spent dwelling on their loss. Whatever attention that was given was often riddled with irreverent battlefield humor, which now weighs heavily upon the minds and hearts of those who survived. Today, with wisdom and repent that comes with age and experience, we may now properly memorialize our brothers and sisters for the sacrifice that they have made during those times. The rifle. Placing the rifle of that period with bayonet fixed vertically into the ground symbolizes the ground of which our comrades fell. It's a time for prayer, a break in the action to pay tribute to our fallen warrior. The Vietnam Combat Helmet. The Vietnam Combat Helmet, with its camouflage cover and band, was an icon of those days in Vietnam. Upon it, each soldier wrote or drew something that embodied its nature or sense of humor. In the band, one would often find a small bottle of insect repellent or other objects that they would keep dry. Although it began its existence as merely a part of one's uniform, it eventually took on a personality of its owner in its shape of a silhouette. To us, an icon of American ideals and defenders. Excuse me. The boots. The boots of a warrior were made to carry them to their duty, and sometimes to their final destination. Though not at all comfortable, nor was the duty they were asked to fulfill, but they filled them nonetheless and wore them with a sincere hope that they might carry them back home one day. The boots represent the final march of the last battle for our fallen warrior. The identification tags. The use of identification tags go back as far as the Spartans, some 2,500 years ago. For many centuries, the warrior's shield also served as the identification. The need for individual identification was documented during the American Civil War by the soldiers themselves by improvising their own identification. Sometimes they would be pinning slips of paper with their name and home address to the back of their coats, stenciling identification on their knapsacks, or scratching the information into the soft lead backing of their military belt buckles. The first official issuing of identification tags took place in 1899, but by 1913, Army regulations made them mandatory. By 1917, All combat soldiers wear a set of aluminum discs with a chain around their neck and continue to present time. The nickname dog tags was adopted during World War II, describing two oblong tags that each soldier, sailor, and airman wore. It has come to represent the personal identification of these individuals. The American flag. For many years, our nation's colors have represented a nation dedicated to liberty and freedom, and is carried to many lands and has inspired acts of valor, which often demanded the ultimate sacrifice. Those that have come before us in previous wars have paid for our right to carry on in their steadfast place. But wars are not won, nor freedom ensured by the living alone. A single red rose. A single red rose is often used as a reminder of the families and loved ones who keep the faith, awaiting the return of those who are prisoners of war or missing in action. A single yellow rose. The yellow rose is a symbol of hope that all will return when a country goes to war. It's always the children who suffer the most. The single yellow rose is placed with a prayer that the children of war will rise from the ashes and find love. We offer this ceremony in honor of those who have given their lives in defense of our nation and our freedom. If you're interested in having our chapter perform our ceremony for you or your organization, please contact us at president@vva1044maine.org. Thank you for watching today, and I hope you found this video very informative. Remember, don't give up the good fight. Thank you.